Okay, hi, Seth Wilkinson from the SealRyt Corporation, manufacturers of the PackRyt Bearing and high performance braided packing here for the pump seal channel. Today we're going to talk about how to measure your pump or equipment for PackRyt bearings. We here at SealRyt pride ourselves on manufacturing our bearings to very, very close tolerances. In order to do so, this requires the measurements to be done very close as well, so that we can maintain our clearance on either side of the shaft and of the bore to make sure that we have a properly performing bearing that will be installed in your equipment. So what I have here is a standard Gould model 3196. All of the different measuring devices that I'm going to need for today, as well as one of our quote sheets. You don't necessarily have to use our quote sheet. You can put it on a standard piece of paper, put it in your phone. All I ask, though, is that whenever you need a quote, please try to access utilize one of our quote forms. Can be found online or through a distributor or through us here at SealRyt. So, first things first. Obviously, I'm going to make sure that that I've powered down the piece of equipment. It's locked out, no juice to it. All the water is off. And I've removed all of the packing, or if you have a mechanical seal, remove the mechanical seal. I'm going to inspect here using a mirror, a flashlight, or if you have a camera, to make sure it's clear of any obstructions, to make sure that I can actually see the flush hole, because that is going to be critical if you're using a PackRyt bearing. Now, I also understand that this is a controlled environment right here. I'm not down in the dirt. It's pretty easy for me to get these measurements. I've done plenty where it's not so easy, so what I'm going to show you is just the basics, but what I do want to stress is that you be as accurate as possible. That'll allow us to manufacture that correctly the first time. So if we want to move over to the pump itself, I'll start. You can do this in any order that you wish. All we ask is that you fill this out properly. So what I've done here is I've utilized our information here, what the pump is, what I'm going to be pumping, and then application data. From there, I'm going to start. This is my way of doing it. I'm going to start with the shaft sleeve first. So I'm going to take my calipers, go in here. I'm going to try to ride up against the throat of the stuffing box here. What that'll allow me to do is to make sure that my measuring device is as straight as possible. So what I'm doing here is I have a little dial, and I'm going to turn it down or up. And what I'm feeling for is just a slight bit of resistance on that shaft. Then I know I'm at the proper size. So from here, I'm going to take this now, set it down, and I'm going to take my measurement. And then from there, indicated here, your shaft sleeve, I'm at 1.742. I'm going to the nearest thousandth. Next, I'm going to go and measure my bore. Again, I have my calipers here, and I'm going to turn the dial up or down until I feel just the slightest bit of resistance here. By moving it back and forth, I can feel it. I can feel the resistance increase as I move it back and forth. What I'm looking for is that little sweet spot. There. Once again, I'm going to set it down. And now I'm going to measure. And I come up with 2.54. So right here, bore, 2.544. All right, box depth. This is where you can use whatever you have at hand. I've used paper clips. This is just a piece of welding rod. Pretty simple. I come in here to the bore. I ride it along the bore until I hit the bottom. Once I've hit the bottom, I pinch the rod, bring it out, and now take my measurement from my thumbnail to the end of my hook. And right there, 2.655. So right here, box depth, 2.655. Now here comes the tricky part. We're going to measure the flush location. There's several different ways to do this. I can show you the way that I utilize the most. From here I have this little hook on my wire. Well, now what I'm doing is I'm going down where I know my flush port is until I feel it hook into the flush hole, which it just did right there. So obviously you have two sides to the flush hole. You have the back side and you have the front side. So I'm going to take that back side, push against it, indicate with my thumb. Now remember, I pushed against it, so I'm going to use the outside of my hook. And about there. So I have 1.716. So that is from this location to this location. So what I'm going to do, add a little 1.716 here to here. Now I'm going to take this measurement here. Once again, take my hook, go in here. Now I'm going to pull. Once I feel I'm inside that hole, I'm going to pull. Again, indicate with my thumb. Now I've gone to the inside of my hook. Here. And I'm at 1.332. So that's from here to here. 1.332. All right, the last thing I'm going to measure is my distance to nearest obstruction. What that means is anything from the stuffing box bore out that may obstruct the ability to put a PackRyt bearing in. So here I take my calipers and I just measure between the very face of the stuffing box here and there. Here, 2.89, and I indicate it here on my request for quote form. So from here, I can get my flush hole width by subtracting this number from that number and put it up here. I have my total overall depth. I have everything that I need in order to properly place that flush hole in the PackRyt bearing. If you have any notes here, any special considerations, if you don't want it split, if you want it cut down horizontally, this is where you would make those notes, or anything that we are not aware of in this section. Quite simple, however, very critical when we need to manufacture these bearings. So we do ask that you be as thorough as possible with your request for quote forms. And please contact us if you have any questions. Thank you.